Comments? Any comments whatsoever? 501.
I love it.
You know, listen.
So
Now you have to
you're gonna
behave.
have to like shoo them my way, like you're gonna have to look quick and then shoo them my way.
Well, I did,
Okay, we're going to start with our call to order. Today is Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. The time is 3:45 p.m. I will now call the Policy Committee meeting to order. Ms. Kenny, is there a quorum present?
Yes, there is.
All right, thank you. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, seeing that we have a sizable agenda ahead of us, is there a motion to approve the agenda? Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Any discussion? Discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. And what do we have? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At this time, we do not have any review of policies. But we will move on to section 4, which is revision of policies. So the following policies have been proposed legislative revisions from MSBA to review. We are looking at the revisions. So is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 413, harassment and violence, to the school board?
so moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. Looking at 413, it appears that the MSBA, there's simply an update to the definition of disability, what the term means, and to reflect what is in Minnesota law. And reminder that policy 413 is a mandatory policy. Any further discussion? Any further discussion?
This is a really dumb point of order. Originally adopted February 22nd, 2022, revised is crossed out, August 19th, 2024.
It's just a reminder when I put it in the board packet to change the revision date.
Oh, okay,
So once the board approves the revisions, that will be updated.
got it.
Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor of sending policy 413, harassment and violence to the school board, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 414, mandated reporting of child neglect or physical or sexual abuse, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. Just so you know, the only change is that if you look on page 18 of that, it talks about the statute changing, the statute numbers and language, and I believe that is it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 418, drug-free workplace, drug-free school, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. I'll remind everyone that this is a mandatory policy. The change is simply MSBA, the Registry Program Participant Protection. So if you look on page 418-3, it talks about a tribal medical cannabis program. and then some more protections under, I believe it is federal law and state statute. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 425, staff development, to the school board?
So move.
All right, thank you. Is there a second? I will second that one. Discussion. The change in policy 425 is by MSBA. It clarifies whether the board or school administration appoints staff development committee members, all right, and removes a 2024 paragraph. So it changes, if you look on the first page, from the school board to the school administration. And then on to page 8, where it removes paragraph E. Any further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So it was a school, on page 1, it's a school board, and now it's no longer the school board, it's school administration. Why did they take the school board off there? I think it should be both.
My guess is that, I don't know why it was the school board, because this would fall under the duties of the district administration, whether it be the director of teaching and learning or the superintendent in that capacity. So I'm surprised that it was school board from the beginning. They don't give a reason why they are making those changes. They just kind of say that that's what the changes are.
I guess one of the things, and I don't have I know there's a state statute that says one of the duties is to superintend the school board, to superintend the district. So I think it should be both. And so that's my, so the fact that I think we should have that responsibility, and, but also I would go along with administration too.
Okay.
So I guess I would just propose to not only add, school board, but also school administration too, to that, for both.
So are you proposing
Propose
an amendment?
Yeah, I'd like to propose an amendment for that. Because
All
I think
right.
it should be both. Because I know state statute does say, and I can get it for you, I can't remember which one, I think it's 120.b or something like that, where it says one of the duties of the school board is to superintend the schools. And so I think that would fall under that, so.
And I
That's
can
my
reach out to
opinion.
Terry. I can reach out to Terry too and find out why
Okay.
this was changed.
All right. Do you want to do your amendment here, or do you want to bring it to the,
Well, let's do it right here. I'd like to make an amendment that would be appointed by the school board and school administrator. I think it should be both, actually.
I'm just wondering if the reason they switched it from school board to school administration is because the administration perhaps knows the key people that they would like to have on the committee?
so I'm going to stop you for a second, because I do have someone who's proposing an amendment.
Okay,
All right, so your amendment is to simply unstrike the word board in both places, in the 4 places that it is on there, and add in the word "and"
Yes,
between the two.
I want appointed by the school board, and you can say "and school administrators."
Okay,
And or whatever, and, because I think it should be both. Because under that statute, I think we're supposed to have some authority there, so
okay,
that's my opinion.
all right. So is there a second?
It does say nominations by the school board. Sorry.
Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Okay, so it's been seconded. So now discussion on changing it to board and administration.
For all four.
For all four
Yes.
instances, yes, on page 1 and 2.
It does say already, like, nominations by board members,
Where are you looking at?
under number 2.
Yes, I realize,
On
I do know that
425.
it says that. But I think the school board should be, just because of that statute. And I can get that for, I think it's 120.b or something like that, where the school board, one of the duties is to superintend the schools in the district, and I think that would fall under this, so. I guess I just don't want, sometimes we take away, I just don't want to take away board authority sometimes. So I guess that's my reasoning. So it's up to the vote, I guess.
I'd be curious as to what MSBA's explanation is as to why the change is.
Good point.
I'm not,
Yeah, good point. No, this
Can
is
we-
meant for discussion.
Right.
Can we
yeah.
get clarification?
because typically there's some sort of story or reason why MSBA
Yeah.
makes their recommendations, and I'd just be curious to know what that is.
So we do have, at this point, our discussion is around adding this.
Right.
So we would need to, I believe, vote on that or make a motion to table this discussion until the next policy meeting.
Yeah,
I go along with that, because I would like to know why, and I may disagree with it, or I may agree with it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm
So I
open.
guess I would make a motion that we table this until, Jamie, you said you'd reach out to Terry and get until we get an explanation from MSBA,
All right.
so we have more information.
So there's a motion now on the floor to table this discussion on policy 425 to, I believe it's September 2nd?
Second, correct.
September 2nd, 2025. Is there a second for that?
Second, please.
All right. Any discussion around tabling?
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, that was-
All right, hearing none. All those in favor of tabling policy 425 until September 2nd, 2025, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so 425 will come back at September 2nd board meeting. Excuse me. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 501, school weapons policy, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. What you'll see is that there has been an update in, first of all, this is a mandatory policy. You'll see there's been an update in definitions around what is considered a dangerous weapon, what is considered possession, school location. Information has been struck on page 2 and 3. And information or active shooter has been added to section 7 on page 7, along with information for a school to electronically file if there is a active shooter situation in one of their buildings. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of sending policy 501 to the school board signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 503, student attendance, to the school board?
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Discussion. So 503, excused absence process has been updated. So if you look on page 3, there are some small changes there, updating it to to the new statute. And I believe that is it. Yeah. I have been in contact, so that everybody knows, with our county attorney, which deals with attendance and truancy for Rice County. There are significant changes to the statute which are not in policy, because it doesn't necessarily affect policy, but it will affect how it is enacted. I'm working on meeting with our county attorney, Brian Mortensen, here sometime in September, and bringing him in to help our principals understand better the new statute pieces around that, so. But it does not affect at this time our policy, so. Any further discussion? Any
So-
further discuss, oh,
Under excused absences, it's striking application for excused absences can be made to any member of the board, but that would be to the school principal,
yes.
correct? Okay.
Because I'm guessing you don't want parents calling you in the morning trying to
thank you.
excuse one of their students, okay?
I mean, no, thank you.
You mean you're not
Right.
up at 5?
Yeah, so,
I mean, I am.
No, that authority I can.
that
I
authority to
give
leave, I
you
got
and
it,
have that.
okay. All right, any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of sending policy 503, student attendance, to the school board, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 512, school-sponsored student publications and activities, to the school board?
So moved.
All right, thank you, Wendy. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
On page 1, I'm going to ask a question about that, and on page, let's see, there's 2 revisions for that, right? I think.
On page 1, there's them striking.
Striking that one,
Okay.
and page 4,
Page 4,
Right.
there
they
is,
strike that one.
they strike one, yes.
Okay, I'd like to know the reason for that, for.
So once, they don't tell us the reason for why they're making
Okay.
these
All right,
changes.
well, okay. I believe, okay, and I don't think I have to make an amendment then, because I think they should leave both, myself, because it says the school district makes exercise editorial control over the style and content of student expression in school-sponsored publications and activities. I think that's a good idea. Certainly our students, the First Amendment rights, that is important, but I think they're still students, and I think I think the school district needs to supervise a bit, unless there's, and then for the second one, it says it's we want to eliminate expresses. It's to advocate sexual, racial, or religious harassment or violence or prejudice. Even if you express it, I don't think that's, even if a student expresses that, I don't think I think we should leave it in there, because, if somebody's going after somebody because of their race or religious beliefs, that they express something like that, I think that's wrong, and I think it's disrespectful. So I think, students have to learn to live in the real world, and they have to learn to respect other people. And if they feel that they can express something like any kind of sexual, racial, religious harassment or violence or prejudice, I just don't believe that's right. And I think the school has to set a standard for that, and that's why I'd like to leave both of them in there. Like I say, First Amendment rights, I'm really for that, but being the fact that they still are students and their brains aren't developed till probably fully developed to mid-20s or 25. I don't know what it is now, what they're saying it is, but they're certainly still in school when this is, and I think they need to be supervised a little bit. So I'm not sure why it was taken out, but I think both of them should stay in. And I don't know, does that take an amendment on each one of those, or just because it's still there?
So the piece could be, so we currently have policy 512.
Mhm.
So the discussion piece could be that you're just asking people to vote no on sending the revisions to the school board.
Right, and just keep it the way it is.
And keep it the
Yes,
way it is.
That is correct.
So that is, so
And that was
remember
my
that,
reason.
committee, if you choose to simply vote no, then what you're saying is that remember, this is an advisory committee.
Yeah.
So it's ultimately the school board's decision, the will of the board for four or more members. So what would go to the board is, this policy would still go to the board, but it would go as this committee said, they do not recommend that we have the changes. Okay?
And for clarity's sake, the changes aren't in state statute, or they are?
So that's a little bit interesting, because it appears that,
They're potentially at
It
odds.
says it's potentially at odds
Yeah.
with Minnesota statutes.
So,
So whether a student expresses or advocates for sexual, racial, or religious harassment, I guess I'm fine with leaving both
Mhm.
of those. I guess I'm not, to be really blunt, I'm kind of conflicted about when do amendments become amendments? You know, like, when does the First Amendment become your right? I don't know how I feel about leaving it in, but I also don't know how I feel about striking it out. It just would be really helpful to have some sort of either legal backing or rationale as to why.
would Terry Morrow have that? He probably would, right? Maybe I should have checked with him before, so that you don't have to do it, but, yeah, I don't know. I guess I just feel that, I'm sorry. Cassie, did you?
Yeah,
What did you think about the first one then? Because, we were in school, and I was in the dinosaur age. We had, we had a supervisor, and they kind of watched over us, but I think there's a fine line too. You have to have First Amendment rights, but you also have to have some constraints with those First Amendment rights. And so I think that's where the guidance would be if we leave it in. I would just as soon have because the way it sounds right now, we wouldn't be doing that. And I think students need, especially when it comes to what they want to express, but then there's a fine line between expressing something, or between hurting someone's feelings, or, attacking someone personally, or, just because the way they stand on a certain issue.
and we're talking about publications
Yes.
and activities,
Yes.
not like, if there was a bullying incident
No,
or something.
no, this is simply for student publications and activities, so the big two being student newspaper and yearbook. So,
I know the student newspaper sometimes, they can, you can get in trouble with that a little bit, and, way back, but, so I would just feel better if we had somebody, the district, or somebody from the district, just kind of supervising that. And, so that's where I stand, I guess, so.
Are you thinking supervise or sign off?
Yeah.
That to me is a difference,
So-
because I worked on our school newspaper. I was also very involved in our school yearbook, and we did not have any staff member supervising us. As a matter of fact,
Oh,
only with the school newspaper did occasionally someone take a look at it before we published it. Of course, it was on mimeograph, granted,
Oh.
but.
I remember those.
But I look back on my school yearbook, which had no staff input whatsoever, and I thought we did a beautiful job of representing all the different organizations and committees, and also, at that time, we had lost a couple of juniors in an auto accident, and that was handled very tastefully as well. So I think our students do have a sense of what is appropriate and not appropriate. And the members that are on those types of committees are usually well invested in our schools. It's not somebody that I would think would do anything to harm our reputation.
And it also goes on to say faculty advisor, in the next paragraph that's not redlined, faculty advisors shall supervise student writers to ensure compliance with the law and school district policies.
My concern with this is, as a former high school principal, that this takes, if there's a concern, it's gonna come back to the principal. And the principal, this policy the way it's currently changed, does not give the authority to that principal to make those tough
Change.
decisions on, no, we will not run that article. But yet they have to then put up with the repercussions of
The article
the
being-
issues that come from it being. I know that this policy was very poorly received. This update was very poorly received by many districts across the state. So I personally would like to not, I will not be voting for these changes. But if it fails, then I will be reaching out to our attorneys to say, all right, what does it mean? Because I also want to make sure that we're following the letter of the law too. But personally, I shouldn't say that. Professionally, I don't agree with the way that this has been changed on here, so.
So can I make a motion to table it to September 3rd and also have it reviewed
By
September
the
2nd.
attorneys?
September 2nd?
Yes.
Sorry.
All right, so there's a motion to table this until September 2nd with more information from legal.
Yes.
All right, is there a second for that?
Second.
All right, any discussion around the tabling? All right, all in favor of tabling policy 512 till September 2nd on further legal advice, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 515, protection and privacy of pupil records, to the school board?
So moved.
All right, I will second that. This is a mandatory policy. The parent contact information, student health and census data has been updated. So if you look on page, and this is a very long policy, 20-plus pages is my guess. Page 10, well, that's just a grammatical one, never mind.
19.
Which one is it?
On page 1 that was removing parents' email,
19. Talks about federal regulations in the sections in accordance with. So that was updated by the state legislature. Page 20 is update to statute section. And is that it?
You said page 19, right?
Yes. I believe it was on page 19 and 20.
Okay.
That is wrong, because I'm already
Yeah,
on
you're
page
right, I think.
37.
19 and 20. You're right.
That is it. So fairly minor changes. Discussion?
Mr. Benny, I think that was a good idea, taking the contact information off for parents. I really appreciated that. And I forgot, I think when I talked to you yesterday, I'd just like to ask a question on page 19. They talk about, okay, this is special, wait a minute, this is, let me look here, if I can. This is for special ed, right? I gotta look here.
What?
Page 19, 23. It's prior consent, not required. Yeah, special education. If you look on 19, it's, on page 19, it's 23 above. And that comes under the heading prior consent not required. That's 34 code federal regulations, and I did look up those codes. This is for contact information and direct free information. I just want to ask a question. For special education with post-secondary transition, does that mean that they're probably of age and they're going into like, college or trade school or something post-secondary then?
No, transition
From-
programming, do you want to
Yes.
explain that?
Yeah, I'd like to,
So-
and I'm sorry I didn't ask you
No,
yesterday.
that's quite right. The 18 to 21, or 22,
22,
depending on,
yep.
depending on the age, program is for students with disabilities to help them gain the skills necessary to be more successful as an adult. For some of the students, it is learning some cooking,
Yeah.
some things like that. For housekeeping, for other students, it might be learning how to do an interview for a job. So it takes a broad range, but these are students who special education team has determined that they need additional instruction in how to be successful as an adult.
Okay, thank you. Also, my second question is this is from the Department of Employment and Economic Development as required by coordinate. What are some of the coordination of services?
Okay.
What are some of them?
So,
So,
Unless you want to answer.
so just to be clear, it's referred to as our STEP program.
yes.
And our STEP program is not run by Faribault Public Schools. It is run by our co-op, Cannon
Oh.
Valley Special Education Co-op, so
Okay.
CEFSEC. So it is not a Faribault Public Schools program. Those students go off to our co-op.
Yep.
As do students from Northfield, Medford, and
Okay, yes,
Owatonna.
because I'm
Yeah.
on that, yeah.
Historically, though, it was part of our Faribault public school system until that co-op took it over. And the question you're asking to refers to voc ed, so it's partnership with vocational training.
So it is is it like mental health or anything like that? I don't want
No, job training.
It's just the job
Mm-hmm.
training. Okay, that's what, and thank you, because I didn't, usually I meet with him once a
That's
month.
okay.
And I bring all these questions, and I thought I
That's,
forgot
that's
this
why
one.
we're together.
So, okay, yeah, if it's about job training, I'm fine with that, because, yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Job training and habilitation.
Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Policy or amendment passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 516, student medication and telehealth, to the school board?
So moved.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. This is a mandatory policy. One of the things that was changed is there was a change from the term auto injectors to, it is now referred to as delivery systems. And then on page, it's hard to see, that's written over. I think it's page 6, the definitions of administer ephedrine delivery system and school. Okay, and then more changes from auto injectors to delivery system. Same thing on page 7, and then updates to the statute. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of policy 516 being moved to the school board, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending policy 516.5 overdose medication to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you, Wendy. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. So overdose medication, the updates, the revision pieces that we're looking at is on page 5. It adds in that it allows another student, another high school age student, ages grades 9 through 12, to possess and administer an opiate antagonist to another high school student. Okay. So kind of an offshoot of like the Good Samaritan type thing, so, and that is the only change that I am seeing on there, so. Any further discussion?
I think it's a good idea.
Just give some protection to students to administer
I
to
think
fellow
so.
students, so. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 524, internet acceptable use and safety policy, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. So this is a mandatory policy, so that you see, one of the things that was removed is the term cell phone from it, and that is due to the Minnesota statute saying that every school has to have a standalone cell phone policy, which we do have. I'm just looking to see if there are any other changes. That is actually it. It's just removing cell phones from this policy, so that there's not conflict between this policy and the standalone cell phone policy. Okay. Any further discussion? All right, hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 534, school meals policy, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Wendy. Small group today, so.
all
Discussion. Once again, 534, school meals policy is a mandatory policy. You see at the bottom of page 1, there is an update around what free school meals means, and the pieces around that. There are some numbering changes on page 2, allowing, and then at the bottom of page 2, allow students to purchase a second breakfast or a second lunch. And that is the changes to this policy.
Please don't tell my children this.
The second, I
I
want to
mean,
be
you
very
can,
clear, the
if you
second
want.
breakfast, the second lunch is not free. That has to be purchased, okay?
Yep.
First breakfast, first lunch is provided for the student for no cost. Second one must be purchased. All right. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of policy 534 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Okay. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 621, literacy and the READ Act, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. The updates are based on statute, and it is simply, I think they strike Minnesota Department of Education, and they add commissioner in. And that is it. It is really just some clerical changes. And changing A to an and. So, any discussion? Discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Is there a motion to approve sending policy 707, transportation of public school students, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion, I believe the only change on this one is some word changes from disability to disabilities. All right, acknowledging that some students have more than one disability, and I believe that is the only change. All right, so it's just expanding it from disability to disabilities. Any further discussion? Discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. We got 3 more people. We can do this. All right, is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 709, transportation of public school students, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion, this is a mandatory policy so that people know. And I think some of the training dates were changed. It appears that information was added on page 3. Is that it? This is another long one. I believe that was it. Yeah, if you go back to page 32, one of those was split apart. One of the sections was split apart. So just, and that is it. Okay. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Policy 802. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 802, disposing of obsolete equipment and material, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you, Nick. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion, it simply adds a section on disposing of surplus books, giving us the right to give them to either a 501(c)(3), or giving them to someone in town that, donating them to a family of a student residing in the district. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 806, crisis management policy, to the school board?
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, discussion, mandatory policy once again, and it looks like, I'm just trying to flip through this here real quick. I have not seen the change yet. Oh, on page 13.
Yep.
It talks about providing information to the Department of Public Safety about an anonymous threat reporting system, based on, looks like Minnesota legislature enacted the addition, so it's an addition that they enacted. And that is it. And they added the resource, love you guys. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right, our next meeting is September 2nd, 2025 at 3:45 p.m. There are no more items to discuss. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Third.
Super excited for that. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're adjourned.